Hello, what's up, YouTube? So it's your boy Sogun from the Dragons channel, and I've been watching some YouTube videos, and I came across this YouTuber, she's got a very small channel. I don't remember her name, but she got a free Xbox and PlayStation online, which led me into researching some other people who get YouTube content creators who get a lot of free merchandise and stuff for their channel online as well. And uh, the way she got it is she used different ways to get her free stuff, such as her race and her small channel to represent that she would be reviewing these consoles. And the way these other YouTubers get these things, I'm not sure. Just they review them and they're big YouTube gamers and things like that. And I got me thinking. It's like, I've been part of PlayStation for since before 2012. My account says I've been with PlayStation since 2012. Um, but I know I've been on PlayStation a lot longer than that. I've had my Xbox account since probably the same because originally I had the Xbox 360 and the PS3 at the same time. So I've been with Xbox a lot longer than that, and PlayStation a lot longer with that. And it got me thinking that with all the time I've invested and money I've spent with these two companies, um, that these companies should really not just invest in promoters with YouTube and things like that. It's like, us people who have been with the consoles for so long, who are now branching off into YouTube and Twitch are not being represented as well at all. We put a lot of money into it. I think I spent thousands of dollars, thousands probably, on my PlayStation account, thousands of dollars on my Xbox account over the time period, and it got me really thinking. It's like, what representation does people who are trying to start in Twitch and starting YouTube really have to these companies? Like, we devoted our time and our in essence our own money, and we tell our friends about it, and we bring on tons of gamers. I now have a daughter, and I'm trying to get her into gaming as well. And my wife, who has never thought about gaming that way, now likes games such as Gears of War, Assassin's Creed. She likes Call of Duty Zombies mode. So these are all things that before we met she wasn't into, but now she's devoting her time and energy into. And she likes Diablo, and she likes Elder Scrolls, but she doesn't play it that much. So these are things she's now developing a habit into liking. So it's us bringing more promotion over, and I'm sure other YouTubers or gamers, not just YouTubers and Twitch people, but gamers in general, have brought a lot on. So the lack of representation of not just them, but everyone else is not there. Um, we don't get a pat on the back so much. There's nothing for like, well, hey, you've been with us for like 20 years. Here's some special thing for being with the console for with the company for so long. With being a PlayStation member, or an Xbox member or something, or things like that. And I'm like, if they worked more to reach out not just to those people but other people as well, I think it'd show a lot of us more that we're also appreciated as well. And of course, I think that leading into less of a divide of people being like, well, you game a lot, but you get nothing out of it. You do all this stuff, you put all this money and this time and this effort into it, but you don't get anything out of it. And I think that honestly, if we got more back, we would. Now, when I heard the YouTubers, they get free promotion things such as the Cold War just sent out some free stuff to YouTubers, which was interesting. Um, the stuff they sent out, I mean, not the fact that they did it. The stuff they sent out was pretty cool. Um, I thought, wow, that's pretty awesome. The stuff, and then on that with the girl who got some free consoles, and she's got a very tiny channel. Like she talked about reviewing it, but I honestly don't think that review is gonna go out to a lot of people. And I don't know her channel, what else she does, that much of it. I've only seen bits and pieces, so I haven't got a feel as to what her channel really is based aligned on. So I'm like, I don't know how much of her audience in those followers are really gonna be gaming or really gonna be buying consoles. So there's that problem. Uh, but I was thinking to myself, and I was like, it would be nice if I could run an experiment and see what kind of representation uh, normal people would get. So I sent a message to Xbox and I sent a message to PlayStation, and I let them know that pretty much due to the scalpers and the area in which I live in, South Dakota, Rapid City, and when I was going to buy a PS5, I was going to go through Target because Target had the pre-order on launch day and you would pick it up the next day instead of just having it on the store shelves or, everything else. And of course, our Target did not have that option available. In fact, our Target wasn't even shipped out PS5s. Like it didn't have any on launch day, and neither did our Walmart or anything like that. All our stores only had pre-orders, which means if you didn't get a chance to pre-order it, they had no consoles. And as of right now, I have not seen, every time I've gone in, I have not seen them get any new shipments. So I pretty much sent out a thing to Xbox and PlayStation saying, hey, it would be nice if you could just send out a console directly to me, and whether or not they had me pay for it or it was free is not the point. But I'm like, because of my remote location, the fact that we don't get shipments like the bigger cities constantly, it would be nice if, you just directly sent one to me. Whether I could get a hold of someone directly or whatever is not the point. I'm like, it would be nice if we could just directly contact you and be like, hey, I'd like to get one now, you know, because our stores clearly are not getting the shipments. And that'd be nice with a lot of other things too. If like the stuff they send YouTubers, if they'd like to send more of us people who have been with the system quite a long time, that not just the YouTubers got these special event type things, but if they're like, hey, if your account is X amount of long length in time, they could send out an email and be like, hey, you should we're going to be doing this event. Would you like to participate? And of course, they have like, let's say 500 people allowed to participate. The first 500 people who get the email and respond to it are the ones who are allowed to participate. So I know this sounded like I was complaining in the beginning, but just the thought that this should be something they allow. So yes, they could still send it out to YouTubers, but then they could send it out to other people and be like, hey, the first 100, 200, 500 people who would also like to be in this special event type thing that they also send to YouTubers or other influencers could be like, we're sending it to them, but if you'd like to be a part of it as well, we'll send you a special package, and this is it to all the people who have been with PlayStation for this amount of time. So let's say you've been with PlayStation for like 20 years, okay? Active. Not just your account, but you've been active for like 20 years or 10 years or 15 years or whatever. You've been active, which means for 6 months out of the year or whatever, you've been constantly online for a total of like 6 months out of the year, or you bought a game within 6 months out of the year. You meet certain criteria. They send you an email and they go, hey, we're going to be having this event. Would you like to be a part of it? Blah, blah, blah. And of course, I would put in a regulation like, if they have like 10 events out of the year, they send, every gamer like two of those events, which means you could only enter like two of those events a year. So not just some gamers get to do all those events, but like you can only enter two of those events a year. So you'd have to think, well, do I really want to be a part of this Call of Duty event, or do I want to be a part of this event, or do I want to do this? And not like travel events. It's like where they send the YouTuber stuff. So it's like, do I really want to be a part of the end of the year event, the middle of the year event? What, You send out an email and you choose to do it, and like every 2 of the year, you get sent this special bundle event thing that you decide this is what I'd like to be a part of, uh, and you sign up, you send out your email, they send you the special event thing that they would for the YouTubers, and you get to be a part of that. So you get the special bundle that YouTubers get and everything else. And I think that would bring more promotion to like Sony or Xbox, and that's what would happen. So, and they could lower it to like 5 years if you're active for 5 years, whatever. But and I don't think that should just constitute like PlayStation. I mean, it's if let's say Vudu, which is a movie channel, So if you've been constantly buying Vudu movies, it's like okay, I get a special thing off of Vudu, or I get access to a certain amount of movies a year that I can pick out a movie for free or something, or like Disney or like Netflix, they're gonna have a special show just for people, or like Hulu or HBO Max or DirecTV, or there's other things like oh geez, what other things am I trying to think of? Uh, like you could have people sign up for well, and other things like that. You could have them like local businesses even could do something like that, where you can sign up to a membership, and it's like you know, that could branch off to different businesses being like, hey, you signed up for a year and you could test something out for them, or you could be like the first person to receive something unique to that business or something like that, you know. So you pay a membership and you get that. Like for example, my YouTube channel. When I start making merchandise, I could be like, hey, uh, you sign up to a special membership on my YouTube channel and or my Twitch channel, whichever one I did it on. It could be like, okay, this special membership. When I first make thing, I'll have a drawing, and the first like 100 people to sign up gets, my first brand of whatever new merch I send out, or something like that, that I send out and goes out to all the people, or doing a special event and I give out gift cards or whatever, and that would be okay, or something. I don't know. It's just something to recognize people who are with you for a length amount of time. I think would be great, and it could be for countless other things, because I think the one thing that doesn't keep people around and keep people following and keep people interested is their lack of interest. And unfortunately, we live in a world where the mentality is I'm giving you something, what are you going to give me in return? And a lot of times it's like, well, I've spent so much money on this, and it'd be nice if I could get one thing back, Um, for example, uh, I bought uh, my PS4. My first Pro unit was a Star Wars PS4. Okay, and it bricked itself. And GameStop told me they were gonna have the Death Stranding PS4 coming out. I was like, well, my console's bricked, so I'm gonna have to pay full price for that console. And if I trade it in, I'm probably gonna get like $50 for my one, which I was gonna trade it in anyway. Because I'm like, well, $50 off isn't that bad for a brick console. I mean, some money's better than no money, right? I took it into GameStop, and they're like, no, 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 no. We'll give you, I think it was $150 off in total at the time. I'm guessing they were running a promotion, of course, but they gave me $150, I think it was, for my it might have even been more than that, but for my brick console that I got off of my Death Stranding, PS4. And I called around to some other stores, and it turned out that I got a PS4 Death Stranding edition, and through calling the other stores, I found out the only other person to uh, get the Death Stranding to pre-order the Death Stranding, because the only way you were going to buy the pre-order Death Stranding in Rapid was if you pre-ordered it. They weren't going to have any on the store shelves. And I found out that in Rapid City, South Dakota, uh, there was only two of us out of all of Rapid that pre-ordered the Death Stranding console. They only sold 2. So I was quite pleased with that there's only 2 in Rapid that were paid for and reserved. So I was one, and one other person won. I never found out who it was. They don't tell me, but they said, out of all the GameStops here, only 2 were pre-ordered. So that was pretty cool to find out. And but I got that much money off of my bill, and then I decided, great, and I traded it in and paid for my console, and that was like, well, my brick console, it wasn't worth anything to me being bricked, but I was like, well, thank God they gave me quite a bit of money for my console, because that was another PS4 Pro, and I had just bought my Star Wars one like 6 months prior to that, so felt pretty pleased with the fact that even though my console is bricked, I still got something I thought was only going to be worth like $50, but I got more than what I thought I would be to get for it. So the part of that story that make it matters is that it was worth. I got more than what I thought it was worth, and that made me happy. So because I have a digital library, my PS4 is strictly just the value of my PS4. Because my account may be worth thousands of dollars, but my PS4 is always worth just what my PS4 is worth. For example, when I get a PS5, my PS5 will always be worth what my PS5 is worth, because my library is always digital. Because I go completely digital. So my account is worth quite a bit. My console is worth whatever extras I buy for it, and then the console. But there's that. So that was just my thought in watching some YouTube videos and deciding, hey, this would be kind of interesting if, they went this route and recognized people who stayed with the console and with the company for quite some time. And like I said, I just curiosity. I was like, hey, I've been with you for a while, and because we can't seem to get any sales here, I just did an experiment. And I mean, they probably won't send me anything, and if they do, great. If they don't, well, you know, great. I mean, I'm still buying a PlayStation. I'm still buying an Xbox. I plan to get both the digital and disc versions of both consoles, but I was like, she got one for free, and she's got a very small channel, and my channel is a lot smaller than hers, and I'm decided, well, she got it through these means. I'll try to tell them, well, we don't get shipments up here like everyone else. In fact, I haven't seen any shipments, so I decided to be honest and just be like, look, whether you want me to pay for it or you're just willing to send it, either or, I'm great, but you should give us at least an option for those direct lines. And that led me into thinking, like the other thing with special YouTuber events, something like, should really find a way to include some of us long-term uh, people who have been with the company a lot longer than just these YouTube people who do a lot. It might help get the word out too. So that's kind of where my thought snowballed into. And since I have a channel and it's growing, and I wanted to gauge everyone else's opinion on, hey, you know, do you think that just the YouTubers should be involved in this, or would you agree to, like, do you think I'm right in, like, hey, maybe Sony or Xbox should look into that? That if you've been active for so long, that you should be included in some of these other events through, like the email or some other way to send out, other PlayStation people to be active and thought of throughout this process as well. But who knows? If you agree, don't agree, want to comment, whatever, leave it in below. Let me know what your thoughts are, and we will see how everything goes. Check you later.